have a look in my green room, see who's lined up to entertain you this evening. Shall we do that? First up, my first guest is a very funny actor. How many people here love the movie Hot Fuzz? How many people love the film Shaun of the Dead? You like those? You like space? You like all those? He's Mr. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Look at him. That's a good-looking man right there. That's a fine set of spectacles.
Thank you.
Nick is starring in, and I'm excited about this, Martin Amos's Money. That was the big book in the 80s. Did anyone read Money? Yeah. It's part of BBC Two's 80s season. And, you know, do you remember the 80s? The 80s were great, weren't they, Nick?
No, no.
I thought the 80s were great. You had Doctor Who on the telly, Bruce Forsyth on the telly, Noel Edmonds on the telly, we had a Tory government. We will never see those days again. So you see what I did there? Mr. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen, he's on the show. Thanks for joining us, Nick. My next guest is a singer who won the X Factor and then went on to even more success. She is the fabulous Alexandra Burke. Alexandra, how beautiful you look this evening.
Thank you.
You saucy minx. Of course, Alexandra is very close to Simon Cowell, and she's given us the inside skinny on this summer's wedding. Apparently, Simon has written his own vows. He's not going to say, I do. He's going to say, 1,000,000% yes. Alexandra Burke, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. She's on this show, and this is, for me, a very exciting moment. My next guest is an actor. He's been in some of the biggest movies ever made. He was in Star Wars. He was in the Harry Potter films. He's about to star in Ricky Gervais' new sitcom. He is Mr. Warwick Davis. Warwick. Surely a national treasure in the making. Come on. And here's why I'm really excited. I love the Star Wars movies, I love the Harry Potter movies, but, you know, I'm sure you might be able to guess. Do you know what my favourite movies you've been in are, Warwick?
I couldn't guess.
Has anyone seen the Leprechaun films?
Oh.
yeah, one man and me, that's it.
You all struck me as quite a sane person, Jonathan, but obviously not.
They made 6 Leprechaun films, didn't they?
You know, absolutely, they did.
I've seen them all.
Yeah.
There was Leprechaun.
Yes.
Leprechaun 2.
Good.
Leprechaun 3.
Good.
Leprechaun 4, where he goes to space.
Yes.
Leprechaun 5, listen to this, Lep in the Hood. yeah, that's true, isn't it? And
you know it, absolutely.
Are you ready for this? Yeah. Tell me about it. And number 6, Lep back in the hood. He goes back in the hood.
We ran out of places to go. What can
I'll be honest with you, we probably don't need to do the interview now. I made up already. Mr. Warwick Davis, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you some clips of those films. I've got clips of all the Leprechaun movies. Yeah, I know, you're not so happy now. No. And we have great music for you, some fabulous music from one of the brightest young singer-songwriters in the country. She's a Brit Award winner. She's the fabulous Ellie Goulding. Hello, Ellie, lovely to have you here. You look fabulous. I don't know if it's true. Is this true about your gap year, Ellie, that you organised a gap year in your education so you could pursue your music career?
I did. I quit.
But that's incredible. That's not a bad gap year, is it? You get a #1 album and a Brit Award. Most of them just go off and get dysentery on some Thai beach somewhere.
They're going to let me go back if I want to.
So you're going to go back to college?
I could do.
What were you studying?
The option's there. Drama.
Drama? Oh, no, that's a waste of time.
I know. So I quit.
Ellie Goulding, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here, Ellie. Wow. OK, shall we get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't matter how many times I see that kid, I always laugh. Mr. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen. You might want to give that a wipe or something first, give it a blow before you sit down. There's some dust on there or something. There you go, Nick.
I've got jeans on, but some of the girls have got skirts.
We've been making a bit of that. OK, sit yourself down. Mr. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have you back here. I love having you on the show.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations to all that. Nick's been on the show before, and since you were on last time, you've got married.
I did get married, yeah.
Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've got to say that it was... a lot of people said, oh, you'll never remember it, you'll never remember the day, it goes so quick, but it was amazing, and I remembered it all, and it was... I mean, I'm quite a dour, miserable man, generally, and it was probably the greatest day of my life. It was amazing.
Well, how lovely. And there you are with your wife, Christine. OK, there, that's... but now
she's fit.
But you... yeah.
She's with me.
You'd been together for a while before...
We've been together for about 8 years.
So what prompted the decision, then, to get married?
It was time. I'd asked her to marry me twice, and she kind of said...
No,
yeah,
I suppose.
but wasn't sure.
So she said yes, but...
But then we never got married.
But hold it, how do you deal with that? If you say to someone, I want to get married, and they say...
You drink a lot.
Yeah, but...
You go on long walks, and...
But you stuck with her?
I did, absolutely.
Because many people, I think...
Well, I think she stuck with me, more importantly.
Yeah.
It got to like February the 16th. I knew February the 29th was coming up, so I said to her, "This is it. If you don't ask me, then we're done." So she kind of came in from work and just said, "Do you want to get married then or what?" And I said, "No, you have to do it properly. I want to be wooed." So she got down on one knee and asked me. And I said, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have left if she hadn't have asked you, would you?
Oh, yeah, I'd be out of there.
Now, Nick, you've got a big career going on now. I couldn't be happier for you. I mean,
Thank you.
the Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and, of course, Space were great, and then you've gone on, you're in The Boat That Rocked.
Yeah.
You've got money coming up as well now. You're also... we can talk about the Spielberg thing.
Absolutely, I think so.
Nick's in Tintin, the big Steven Spielberg-directed Tintin movie. Is that this year or next year that's coming out?
I think it's out next year.
Next year.
But it was amazing. It was amazing to do. It was terrifying because he's like a massive hero of mine. And, you know, just to be on set every day with Steven Spielberg.
It's incredible. The first time you met him, it must have been not an awkward moment, but a kind of a scary moment for you.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
And did he put you at your ease? Did he come?
I tell you what, he is, from, you know, the month that we spent together with Simon and everyone else doing the film, he was just the nicest man. You know, he was... he loved to work. He loved to be on set, holding the camera, and if you did a good take, he'd run on and punch the air and say, "That was great! That was great! That's in the movie."
And if you did a bad take, how would he respond then?
You would be murdered. Have you murdered?
You're playing one of the Thompson twins, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
But you're not... It's kind of animated, isn't it? It's not... But it's not animation in the old
I
sense.
think it's an Avatar kind of vibe.
Right, all right. So you are kind of... Were you moving around with sort of like...
Yeah,
things on your face?
we had like a big camera here, and there were like 300 cameras in the ceiling, and lots of cameras, and we had those lovely suits on.
Wow.
Which... They're not flattering. It's not a flattering look for a big man.
You're wearing that, you expect someone to shout, "Bring on the wall," don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. But Daniel Craig is in it too, and he looks amazing in his suit. I mean, I think he has like a bespoke Gives and Hawks motion capture suit on, and then as I stood next to him, I looked like a dinosaur egg, or like a man dressed as a Christmas pudding.
Hey, now, don't take this the wrong way, but in a way, I think it'd be fair to say you kind of stumbled into this. Am I right?
I did, absolutely.
Is that fair to say that?
Yeah.
You didn't really plan on being an actor?
No, not at all. It was, you know, I hate when actors say, "Oh, I'm essentially quite a shy person," but I was quite a shy person. I was a waiter, and I was happy being a waiter. I was a very good waiter, and you know, just happened upon Simon one day, and...
And you were waiting his table?
His girlfriend was a waitress at the time, and then I met him through her, and she split, and then we got one another in the settlement, which was great.
Let me ask you about money, because money's coming to the BBC. This was a big book in the 80s. I mean, most people I know read it in the 80s. I read it and loved it in the 80s. And at the time, I thought, someone's got to make this into a TV series, a film, and they didn't. Yeah. And now they're doing it now, and this is part of an 80s series.
It is, yeah. I think there's a show about Culture Club and another show about the royal wedding.
They like doing that, like making a kind of an event out of it. Like that. OK, so for you, going back to the 80s, were you fond of that period? Do you remember that period fondly? I guess you were pretty young back then.
Well, I was 10 in 82.
So you weren't driving, maybe you were smoking a little bit, but not a lot.
I was driving and smoking at 10. I'm from Essex. Essex?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm not a person who looks back fondly at things. For me, that's something that television producers do to make us think, "Oh, wasn't that good? Weren't the 80s good?" Yeah. But if there was no such thing as television, we wouldn't sit around thinking, "Oh, 30 years ago was good, wasn't it?" It's just a way to make television. I'm shooting myself in the foot because I've obviously made a piece of 80s television, but you know what I mean?
But everyone's admiring your honesty and now thinking maybe I'll watch that just to see whether he's right and the 80s weren't anywhere near as good as they could.
Well, I think, you know, time's gone by, they're always romanticised because that's the way we should look at them. But Spangles were nice, weren't they? But Spangles weren't nice. Spangles were awful. Now we live in a world where there's Kit Kat senses. You know, that was the stuff of a madman's dream in 1982.
Yeah. We've got so much more than we know what to do with. Yeah, why would we be looking back?
Yeah.
A lovely scene. So this is in 2 parts?
It is, yeah. I think it's on, like, a Sunday and then on a Wednesday. They were going to put it consecutively, but England are playing a friendly on the Monday, so we've been moved.
But you've got another thing lined up with Mr. Pegg. You've been writing...
Yeah.
What's Paul?
No, we've shot it. It's done.
You've filmed it already?
It's coming out next year.
What is it?
It's called Paul, and it's a story of two comic book geeks who go to America on a road trip, and while they're there, they witness a car crash. They get out to help, and inside is an alien.
Fantastic.
A proper alien.
You mean a space alien or an illegal immigrant?
No, I mean
a space
an illegal immigrant.
Because these days...
a space alien.
That's a hot issue these days.
It is a hot issue.
So it's a proper alien. Is the alien alive? Would that be spoiling if you told us that or not?
He's alive and kicking, yeah.
So don't spoil us for...
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. And then the three of them go on a road trip.
That's fantastic.
So it's like Little Miss Sunshine, but with... an alien.
It sounds like... Now, after the event, it sounds like the most obvious idea in the world. You can't believe no one did this before.
I know.
Do you believe in aliens?
I think the universe is probably big enough that there are other things there, but I'm with Hawking that I think we should probably be a bit quiet.
If they came knocking, you think they'd be after something? They wouldn't be coming as
No,
famous,
I think they would drain us of our fluid.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. No, not in a good way.
Wouldn't you love to meet... But wouldn't it be nice to meet... Before you go, before you leave, not leave the show, leave the planet, would you like to meet an alien? Would you go to space? If you could go on, like Virgin have got flights now, would you go to space?
No.
Why not?
I think it would be terrifying.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be fun as well?
No. I think it would be expensive and terrifying.
It might be expensive and terrifying, but if you could afford it and you weren't a baby, would you like to go to space?
The thing is, but it's not... I think people think, oh, I'm going to go into space, it's going to be amazing, but I think you just kind of go into the atmosphere a bit and then come down. If I was going to Mercury, I think I'd probably get into it over the...
Mercury's too hot. You don't want to go to Mercury this time of year. It's terrible.
I'll go the other way.
Hey, Nick, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. I'm so pleased for you, and I'm so thrilled that it's all going so well for you, because I think you're great on screen, and be working with Spielberg and still working with Pegg. What a great thing.
Just working hard. I'm writing a film at the moment about a British wrestler, and
I know, I like the sound
we'll be
of
making that next year as well.
Because you've got a good build for wrestling.
I do have a good build.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to take you on in the ring.
I'd like it. I'd like a little grapple. We're going to play tennis, right?
We are going to play tennis, and afterwards we'll wrestle in front of the fire.
All right, just get... and then we can go into space.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nick Frost. Thank you. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we get my next guest out, ladies and gentlemen? I think we better, or Warwick will have signed up to do the theme music to Leprechaun 7, which, by the way, I want to see. Will you please welcome Alexandra Burke? I'm not saying Nick wasn't attractive, but wow, that's a treat there. He's right. How lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I guess it's been a year and a half.
Yes, it has.
Wow, what an 18 months that's been for you, hasn't it?
It's been amazing. Out of this world, my goodness.
But you know, I guess you were always going to have a career in singing. I guess that just kind of gave it this huge push. I
don't know if I was going to always have a career in singing. I kind of thought, you know, I've always wanted to be a singer, always wanted to be in this business, but from about the age of 15, 16, I kind of thought, I think I'm going to be one of those people on earth that will never have that dream come true.
Really? So you thought, even though you knew you had that voice, you thought it wouldn't happen for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always wrong to expect that things are going to fall into your lap and that you're always going to have a career that you love. You have to work hard for it, and I worked really hard.
I know you were grafting, but you just think the opportunities weren't there, or you wouldn't have been able to break through unless you had
I just don't think I was the kind of person to be able to walk into a record label and be like, hi, can you sign me?
And why not? Because you weren't confident, or?
Yeah, confidence was an issue, and you know, I never ever would be brave enough to do that. And one time I did, I got rejected. And you do, when the one door closes, another door will open. But you know, you have to go through those obstacles to get to where you want to be, and it makes you learn. But yeah. This platform was amazing for me.
So what were you doing in terms of singing before X Factor?
Yes.
You were singing in clubs, in
yes,
bars? What
clubs, bars, bar mitzvahs, parties, everything. You name it, even funerals.
So would you sing at the bar mitzvahs? Would you do Jewish songs as well?
I would join in with the Jewish songs, but I wouldn't really. You know when you just kind of blag your way through.
Yeah.
I blagged my way through a lot of things.
So you would do Hava Nagila at the end of the evening?
Yes.
Hava Nagila.
Yes, there you go.
Da, 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 da.
I just do the clapping. I go, yeah, and just smile.
So I guess you were used to performing, because when I look at the X Factor, and I think some of these kids in that, you know, they're performing and they've all performed locally and they perform these small gigs, but suddenly to be in a TV studio knowing it's live in front of several hundred people, and you've got, you know, the Prince of Darkness sitting there and the other two, you know, that must be pretty scary.
It's scary, full stop. And I think what's amazing is that the fact that while I was growing up, I always done a lot of live work, and that's what helped me with confidence and stuff. So by the time I auditioned for the X Factor the second time around 19, you know, it's still nerve-wracking, but I was able to get on that stage and sing.
Because the first time you went, were you 16 the first time?
Yes.
So there you are. That's you. I think that's you doing. Was that one of the boot camps?
That was the second time around, actually. That was at Cheryl's.
So you is that a Cheryl's camp thing? It's not Cheryl's. Not Cheryl's house.
At her home.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're not their houses they go to then, even though they're on screen. They're meant to be their house.
Yes.
But not really. Okay.
Yes.
And Cheryl's lovely, isn't she?
Oh, she's lovely.
Okay.
Very,
and you've become quite close with her, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, we have, you know, a great relationship, and, you know, she's really supportive about me, and as am I to her.
So, because she's, man, she talked about going through it recently. There she's dressed as a mermaid or something.
Oh, stop it.
And how is she at the moment? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's great. She's actually on the Black Eyed Peas tour right now, doing amazingly well.
I read in Heat magazine, she took Will.i.am back to see her mum.
I'm sure he's met her mum on tour or somewhere.
I think she's going to marry him.
You think she's going to marry him?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
I think he'd be a good man for her.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you know Will.i.am?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous.
Now, you're going to, I hope so, you've been invited to Simon Cowell's wedding. Do we know when that is even?
I don't even know when it is. I haven't seen Simon in a couple of months as he's doing American Idol.
Oh, he goes off to do that?
Yes, but I will be seeing him in a couple of weeks when he's back to do Britain's Got Talent. But there's no invites out as yet.
No invites out.
I don't think anything's even planned yet.
And now you're signed to Cowell, of course, aren't you?
Yes.
You're signed to his label. And now how close a relationship do you have with him, and how much of a say does he have in what you do, how you look, what you sing?
He has a really big input in terms of what I sing and stuff. I think it's great that we have a great working relationship. He does include me in decisions, which I find amazing, and especially for an artist that is my first album. You know, I'm learning everything every day, and you know, he does let me just make my own decisions. And if he's right and I'm wrong, then cool. But if I think I'm right, I think I'm right.
But if he said to you, don't do something, say you wanted to have a tattoo or piercing or a gold tooth or something like that, or you know, shave your hair off, and he said, don't do it.
Like I don't have a tattoo.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3.
But if he said no to you, would you still go ahead and do it?
Yeah, he said no. I've done it. 3 times.
Take that, Cowell.
Take that.
Okay, so let's have a look at a clip here of you. I think the first one is the one where you win, where you're told you've won. Okay, and I want you, because it's a huge moment in your life.
It is.
I guess, and it's something you work for. But at the same time, man, you really do. The emotion's right there at the surface.
I'm telling you. Let's have a look.
But do you look back on these? Have you looked back on the shows? I guess you have with family, haven't you?
Yes, but it's embarrassing. This moment for me right now on this sofa is going to be super embarrassing.
Why is that?
Just look at the way I reacted. I fell on the floor.
I thought maybe that's a lovely thing. It's such a genuine
thing. It was natural. I didn't know. I didn't think I was going to win, and just when he called my name, I thought, right, now is when the hard work begins, you know, and. Seeing, I haven't watched that in a while, so
But do you cry like that? I mean, not maybe as much as that, but are you someone who cries easy?
Yeah. I call myself an emotional wreck at times. Yes, I do cry a lot. I'm an emotional person. I like to show my emotions, and people that know me really well will know when I'm sad, know when I'm happy, and majority of the time, thank God, I'm really, really hyper.
So do you cry during movies? You cry during commercials, adverts?
Movies, yeah. You put on like.
What about adverts though? Do you cry during adverts?
Nah, that's a waste of time. Waste of cheers.
Yeah, no, I cry in adverts. Like if there's a child and there's an old lady waiting at home and he brings her some bread or something.
Oh, that's nice. It's sweet.
And you cry then.
Yes. Yeah. Sweet.
Or when I hear Stephen Fry doing a voiceover, I think, why wasn't I offered that? Then I don't do it. How exciting was it for you? Because I'm sure you must have been a fan of her, to sing with Beyoncé.
Oh my goodness!
Did you see on X Factor when Alexandra sang with Beyoncé? That was incredible because you know I'm a fan of hers, but I didn't know how great her voice was.
She is amazing, and you know she's a really good person to know, and I love the fact that she's been supportive to me and everything that's happened since I won the show, and she's great. I love her.
How long before you sang with her did you know this duet was going to happen?
Oh goodness, look at that picture.
How long did you... Well, yeah.
I'm like crying.
You're crying again?
Again.
How long before you did that? Did you know you did? Did you have time to rehearse together?
No, what had happened was JLS and Owen Quigg knew that they were going to sing with their artists already. Yeah. It got to Friday night, midnight, Simon calls me and says, OK, tomorrow you're singing with Beyoncé. I was like, now you tell me that I'm singing with Beyoncé. And then the next day, we literally had 10 minutes to rehearse on stage.
Wow.
So thank God I knew the song, and I'd sung it 2 weeks before.
Basically good. And you can say, you know, it must have been, I would have thought, you're fairly experienced by that stage and you know you're in with a good chance. But that must have been, did it make it harder or was it easier?
You know, at the end of the day, when you get to the final, you're fighting more.
Yeah.
But when you've only got 10 minutes to rehearse with your idol and all you do is cry, you kind of think, well, I've had it now. I'm not going to win. That's it. I've had it. But you're just grateful to get to that point in the show because it's hard to get to that point in the show.
This is a great moment. And you know her fairly well now, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, she's been really supportive. She always checks on me. I see her when she's on tour. And when I was recording in the studio with the album Overcome, she came, popped in, had a word, listened to some songs, and it was great.
Tell her, what's going through your mind there? Because I think you can see some of the thought process. But what were you thinking?
Even now, I look at it. I haven't watched that moment in a while, and it actually makes me really emotional seeing it back. So that's just brought me right down to a calm.
But I can see you thinking, you're looking at thinking...
Yeah, I'm looking at her. You hear, if you watch the whole clip, you see I go, when she's singing, I go, woo! Because she just took my breath away. Her presence, everything about her was just really beautiful and something that, you know, I will remember forever. And I've learned a lot from her over the past 18 months.
But you guys are really belting it out there as well.
Oh, yeah, we're going for it.
Yeah, do you sing in the shower much at home?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet
all the
you
time.
do. So you don't ever tire of it?
No, I'm always singing, talking, you know, talking, singing, all the time.
At times you must be a nightmare.
Oh, right now, I think I might be right now.
Hey, when you're out and about, the people, they must all know you now, because X Factor is just about, you know, one of the biggest shows on TV. It's not like you're not on a... Do you get a lot of fans?
Yeah.
A lot of people come and talk to you about this?
Yeah, I've been recognised a lot, which is really cool, and you know, it's so amazing to go out and know that people come up to you and they say, like, even today when I was outside the Sony building, they said to me, some guy came up to me and said, I really support your music, you're amazing, thank you for making great music. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Well, that was Simon Cowell trying to get back in the building. But no, it's great. You know what? I love seeing that show. I love seeing people come because you follow. I mean, when Leona won as well, I remember seeing it and seeing her working in that office in Hackney. You're thinking, here's someone who has this enormous talent and he's just waiting for the chance to show it to people.
Just do it,
which is what that show gives you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then to go on and be stars around the world, which is it's a wonderful thing. We produce so much talent in this country. To be given the chance to do that is a great thing.
Exactly.
You know, and that's why even though a lot of people knock the X Factor, they knock Simon Cowell. You know, I think it's a great thing they offer there.
High five.
Yeah, and I want to see Jedward at #1.
Yes, I agree. I love them.
You like the Jedward?
Yeah, we was discussing this, babe. I love them.
Well, there's an idea for you for a double date. You and Jedward.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. You wouldn't fancy the Jedward for an evening?
I call them my bad boys, though, which is fun. Yeah. Every time I see them, I'm like, hey, bad boys.
Come on, you could maybe for their birthday.
No.
Congratulations on your sister. You've got a new single out now as well.
Yes.
You like going for the big videos, don't you?
I do.
There you are. What are you wearing there? That's just a piece of foil or something.
Yes. Why not?
Yeah, well, you've got the legs for it, but you don't want to go out just like that. And you want to mind out there's something on that couch.
Oh, God, yeah.
No, there's really. Hey, Alexandra, let's have a look. This is the new single. This is featuring Pitbull.
Pitbull, yes.
Who is Pitbull?
Pitbull is a rapper, and I think he's fabulous, and feel very honoured that he's on this track.
I haven't encountered Pitbull yet. It's not the nicest name for a rapper, is it?
Probably not. Maybe Woof Woof after would be great.
She's a star here, of course, but she's a star all over the world now, and I'm thrilled for you. I think you absolutely deserve it. Alexandra Burke, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
Well done.
Cheers.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I want to see your little dog later. Yes. Alexandra Burke. Thank you, Alexandra. Should we get my next guest out? He has been in some of the biggest films of the past 20 years, and here he is, stealing the limelight, Mr. Warwick Davis.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. That's a fun... I love that clip. I love that episode of Extras. That's very good.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, you know, I'm thrilled your book's come out because I've seen you in so many films over the years, and, you know, I'm genuinely a fan of the Leprechaun series, and we will talk about that later on. But you've got your autobiography out.
I have, yes.
Called Size Matters Not, which is a kind of a Yoda
Size
phrase.
Matters Not.
Yeah, you do a much better one than me. Why write it now? What prompted you to write it, and did you enjoy the process of writing it?
Yeah, I was approached by a publisher, and at first I said, no, I really haven't got anything to say. You know, I felt you had to be kind of a retiring actor to write a memoir. But then when I sat down and started to think about it, I thought, well, I have done some quite amazing things, you know, with Star Wars and Willow and Harry Potter. And so there was a great sort of film story to tell, you know, lots of famous people, lots of adventures on set. But also there was a really interesting life story as well, you know, being 3'6" in a big world and growing up, you know, short.
Well, that's what's fascinating about it, is because I guess it's something that people are a little reluctant to talk to you about. Are they? They're not embarrassed about it, but they feel, can I talk to you about this? Is it, you know, do you encounter that?
Yeah, all the time. And people will avoid saying the word short and little in the conversation, but then say it more.
Yeah, but I was going to say he's one of our biggest stars. I thought, no. He's been in some huge movies. I thought, no. So I'm sitting there worrying about what to say, and you're right. But you presumably you're relaxed and pretty cool about it.
I'm fine with it. I'm slightly disappointed that the guys didn't sing a sort of short song.
They were going to sing Tiny Dancer, and we said, I thought no, because I didn't want to get off to the wrong foot.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so but then presumably when you're out and about, how are people? How are kids with you? How are adults? How are the parents?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. The world is full of people with interesting reactions. I mean, you know, if I bump into a kid, for example, the most embarrassing occasion was I went to open like a Fate, and there was a little 6-year-old lad there. He was wearing exactly the same shirt that I was. You know, so that was pretty embarrassing. But I mean, people, particularly Irish people and Japanese people, they want to touch me for luck. Really? Yeah.
No, for real?
They do. They want. I don't know. I guess they think maybe I'm a real life leprechaun. I'm not sure. But the Japanese people have to come and touch me.
Do they say something when they're doing it? Or they just do it?
No, they just have a touch, and he's very subtle sometimes. But I'm like, I know what you're up to. And I just.
But as far as you know, though, you don't have any luck-giving properties.
Well, no, I've been very lucky in my career and life, but I don't know whether I passed that on or not. You know.
Now, it was kind of accidental you broke into movies at a very young age. How did that happen? How did you first get into films?
Well, I was 11 years old. I was at school like anyone else, and my grandmother, she heard a radio announcement put out by the Star Wars people, and they said, we're looking for short people to be in the next Star Wars movie, Return of the Jedi. So she told my mum about this, who was mopping the floor at home at the time, and Mum phoned the studios. They said, we've got everyone. We were inundated with calls. And I don't know what she did. She may have offered them cash, I'm not sure. But they said, all right, bring him in. We'd love to meet him. And bear in mind, I was 2'11", a lot shorter than I am now.
2'11".
So I walked in, and I met with a production assistant who didn't audition me. She just took one look at me and said, do you like Star Wars? I said, yeah. I was so excited.
Yeah, yeah. But 11, you would have been over the moon just to be there, I guess.
Oh, I mean, I lined up when I was 7 years old to go and see Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean, it had an immediate effect on me. And, yeah, to be part of that then was just astonishing.
And so they cast you pretty immediately, I guess. They
just based on my height. They
but
said,
didn't you get a bigger role because someone fell out? Is that
well, yeah, and full of lucky breaks. Nan was the first one. The second one was due to Kenny Baker. Now, Kenny is normally the poor chap stuffed in R2-D2.
He was R2-D2, yeah.
He's the soft bit in R2-D2. And Kenny was also an Ewok, right? And so the day they were going to shoot the famous scene where Princess Leia has crashed a speeder bike and she's discovered by an Ewok, the day they were going to shoot that with Kenny, he was taken ill with food poisoning.
Well, you say that, but
How it happened.
Yeah. What did you give him?
Money well spent on that hamburger. but no, poor old Kenny was taken ill, and
so he couldn't do it.
And they called me in.
Wow.
And then I became Wicket. Then from then on, I was otherwise just another Ewok.
And then there were a couple of Ewok movies, weren't there? Were you in both of those?
Yes, I was, and that was probably thanks to George Lucas's daughter, who fell in love with Wicket and the Ewoks.
Well, kids loved the Ewoks, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, and Lucas, he kind of became quite a friend of yours, didn't he?
Oh, he did indeed, absolutely. I mean, he's been an integral part of my career, you know, for since then, basically, till now, and we do still keep in touch.
Is that how Willow came about? Was that via Lucas that you got the lead in Willow?
Well, he actually said to my mum in 1983, he said, I've got a little idea for Warwick, you know, a film idea, but he's not quite old enough yet, but we'll get to it, you know, when he's older. And, yeah, in 1987, I got the call from George Lucas's office saying, come up to Elstree Studios, meet with George Lucas and Ron Howard for a film called Willow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that had a lot of other little people in it as well, didn't it? It was a lot of other guys about the same height as you. I mean, how did they find so many people that size? Because previously back then they had to put an advert out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they scoured the world, so I think they brought in about 260 little people to play Nelwyn villagers in the village scene there, yes.
And when you get that many, I mean, regardless of height, when you get that many actors cohabitating together, you know, they're
well,
parties occur?
Well, I think, the parties mainly occurred on the set in the little village huts, I believe. All sorts went on.
You believe or you were...
Well, I know I wasn't involved with that. I was in my trailer somewhere, probably.
Yeah, of course you were.
I know I was. I know you start probing.
Yeah, well, that's what you're here for. So how old were you then? I forgot. Are you about...
I was 17 then.
So what great to be in a lead role when you're 17, a lead role in a movie and all that sex. What an incredible experience for you.
It wasn't me. It was around me. I hear.
OK, let's talk about Harry Potter. Because here's another tremendous success story, and that would have been, you know, after the event, everyone else said, of course they're hits, but they needn't have been. And you were in the first one, weren't you, when they were just really little kids?
Playing Professor Flitwick. I was almost as tall as Daniel, Rupert and Emma at that point.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we didn't know going into making the first movie, of course, that we were going to make any more. You know, we took it one movie at a time, and little did we know they would become, you know, the most successful film franchise ever.
It's going to be a sad day, I guess, when that comes to an end, because that's been a huge chunk of your life, hasn't it?
It'll be very sad. I mean, we've all been working on those films for 10 years now, and I liken it actually to going to school. You know, each film we go back for a new term, as it were, and you know, we're all about to graduate and go our separate ways, and it's going to be sad, yeah.
OK, let's talk about the moment we went for. Leprechaun.
Oh.
OK, so how does that happen? They phone you and they say, we're making a film called Leprechaun, about a leprechaun. I imagine your first question was, what part am I going to play?
Well, the script came in, Jonathan, and it was actually appealed to me straight away because I'd done Willow and I'd done Ewoks and all these nice things, and I thought, I need to show that I can diversify, otherwise I'm going to be typecast forever. And so this was a horror movie. Of course, I jumped at it immediately. And he was such a fun character to play, so crazy. And there was really no limits to what I was doing.
There's more to it, just because it's kind of horror comedy, really, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, it's all tongue-in-cheek stuff. We don't take it seriously.
So when was the first one? Can you remember what year the first one was?
91, I think. 91. The first one.
And this is what's so weird about it, and this is really why I started watching the first place, because someone told me it was the first movie, someone who became very famous, of course, it was...
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston's in this. It's like her first big movie.
Absolutely.
But then I thought, this is a great case. And when I found out they made 6, I just set myself the challenge of watching them all. So the first one, presumably, it was a reasonable-sized hit from to want to go back, or was it low budget enough and say, OK, we'll take a chance on them?
I think, I mean, that one came out theatrically, so I think it made enough money and it continues to do so now with the fact that Jennifer's in it. She totally denies any connection with the films whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe we've done 6, you know. It's amazing, and people still want a 7th.
Well, absolutely. I demand a 7th. I want to see where they're going with it next.
How about this? How about you combine Leprechaun with pirates? They like gold, they like drinking, same as Leprechauns. Get Johnny Depp on it. We could shoot it at the same time as Pirates 4.
Leprechauns of the Caribbean.
It'd be great.
It's got a ring to it. You're a genius. First one was had a theatrical, it was a proper cinema release.
It was.
And then after that, they've more or less been DVD movies.
Yeah, straight to DVD.
And 4 was a weird one. When they came back with the Space Odyssey, do you think, maybe we're pushing our luck here?
I don't think I did. I enjoyed working with the director, Brian Trenchard-Smith, on number 3, and when he came up with this, I thought, oh, what the hell?
After Space, you think where they're going to go next, and where did they go next?
To the Hood.
They went into Hood. OK, it's kind of is it set in New York?
No, it's set in LA.
It's
LA.
LA.
South Central. We actually shot in South Central LA. And there I mean, the gangs were coming by. And I was worried. I'm in green. I'm thinking, what is this colour?
Yeah,
but
is it grips? Is it bloods?
It's neutral,
I don't know
apparently.
what it is.
I was OK. They would come and check me out.
Warwick, I'll be honest, if you look like that, I don't think you're just walking through trying to join a gang. OK? And the makeup is quite, obviously, deliberately
it takes
monstrous.
3 hours to apply every
That must
day.
be horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty much a nightmare.
But you must have, there's a lot of fans of Leprechaun films. There's a lot of people who like, like me, like B movies. They like that kind of thing.
There are a lot of fans, and I always see them coming from about 500 yards.
Why? What do they do?
And they always look like there's a certain type. There's a certain type, and
Did you know I was a fan? Because when I bumped into you a while ago, before I bumped into Warwick, and immediately I wanted to go, Leprechaun!
Did you?
But once again, it's something you don't want to shout out when you see a little person, in case other people don't know I'm talking about the movie, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And people get me to do the voice all the time. Create their voicemails.
Would you do it? Well, after would you do it?
Okay. What do you want me to say? I'm going to say the classic thing.
Okay.
I want me gold. If you don't give me shilling, there'll be a killing.
They should do that. You could do that. You know these new adverts where people say, have you got a gold ring? Send it in for cash. You could do the voiceover for that. We should have the Leprechaun on those adverts. Let's talk about extras because I knew you were doing these movies. And I thought I assumed you lived in LA because all your film work is over there, over in America. But you're still over here. You're still based in the UK.
I still live here. I love England, and so yeah.
And so I guess who contacted you about extras? Was it Ricky called you, or you just got a call from the agent?
No, Ricky did. I mean, this was the time that the office was massive everywhere, and I hadn't done any extras at this point. And I had a phone call at home in my kitchen, And the voice said, "Hi, this is Ricky Gervais." And I went, "Oh, yeah." Because I have a lot of mates who do impressions. But no, then when I said, "Oh, yeah," he started laughing. And, you know how Ricky Gervais laughs.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "Oh, it is you, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "We're creating this new series, and we're going to get some sort of celebrities in it, and we wonder whether you would do an episode." But he said, "I want to check before we write it. Would it be okay if I sort of accidentally kick you in the face?" I said, "Well, seeing as it's you, it'd be an honour. So let's do it." And in the second series, indeed, we did do that.
It's a very funny sequence. And now, this is the exciting news, and some of you might know this already, is that Ricky and Steven, they're writing a sitcom for you, about you. What's the actual details?
Indeed, they are. Yeah, they're to write and direct Life's Too Short, which it's really about me. I play Warwick Davis in it, and I have some of the film background, you know, the Leprechaun and the Star Wars background. But the kind of personal reality in the series is going to be quite different.
Yeah.
And it really, as they've done in their past things, it looks at other people and makes them look stupid in the way they react towards me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also have fun playing this very egotistical, a kind of an actor who craves the fame and the recognition, which is not me.
So they're basically giving you what they call little man syndrome, you know, when you
exactly, I do have
small
that.
man syndrome.
I do have small man syndrome.
Yeah. So you're kind of, you want to be a big force, and at the same time people are treating you badly.
Exactly. No, that's right. And it's kind of like Larry David did with Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing himself.
An exaggerated version of yourself, or just aspects of it.
And it's so much fun working with those guys.
Well, it must be weird as well, because Ricky is kind of like mid-height, but Stephen Merchant is one of the tallest men I've ever met.
Jonathan, we look ridiculous walking down the street together. The three of us, it's the weirdest thing. People are like, go, whoa, like that as we go by. It's so odd. It's so odd.
It must look like, so, you know, someone's fiddled with the ratio on the TV, and you've got the three different options right there.
It's kind of like the evolution of man, really.
Yeah, with you at the top and Ricky at the bottom.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay.
When are you going to do this? You're going to do a pilot or a whole series? What are you going to do first?
We are shooting a pilot at the end of June with a view to go to series.
I think I get the feeling it's going to be a hit. You can't, I mean, it's because I know you've got so many stories, so much material. They're brilliant at doing that kind of thing. I can't help but think. And are they going to be in it as well?
They are. They're going to play themselves as well. So that's going to be very
If there's a role in it for someone who's a big Leprechaun fan who follows you around, please
You
do
did
not-
get mentioned a while ago, actually. Scrapped immediately, but you did get mentioned. Have a word with Ricky. You know him, don't you? Oh, you're not going to talk now? I want to try your seat. Can I try your seat?
How dare you, sir?
Oh, please.
You want to have a sit here?
Yeah, because I've always fancied myself as a chat show host. I've got the name of the chat show. That's Small Talk. Hey, come on.
I like the way this feels. I mean, this is good.
Let me tell you a funny story, right, that happened to me. I went to see a concert, actually, at in Manchester. And I'd had seats, and, of course, everyone's in the middle of the arena who wanted to stand up. The concert started. Straight away, the guy in front stood up and started dancing. I'm like, oh, great, now, you know, we're all trying to see. And everyone else then, in turn, had to stand up because they couldn't see. And I thought, it's ridiculous, right? So I'd spend most of the concert ducking and diving here. And at the end, you know, we didn't wait for the encore. We just, let's go. So the family and I lagged a bit behind, made sure my wife wasn't looking, and I went up and tapped him on the shoulder. So you just ruined this for us. Next time, buy a ticket down there if you want to dance, all right? And he was so taken aback. And I said, I might as well have sat at home and looked at a picture of your arse and listened to that album. Left, went up into, and then he followed me, right? But this is how he took me on. Would you mind just getting on your knees for a minute so we can recreate this?
Facing
want to
you
do
or
that
the other
out
way?
here? Well, just get. He actually came up to me.
So I'm here. He got down his knees.
He came up and he started jabbing me like this. He said, "You people, you shouldn't come to concerts, right, like this." And then a security guard came up and he said, "He's just assaulted me." I'm like, what do you really think's happening? What do you think's happening? Unbelievable.
Well, that's a great story. You know what I like about it as well?
you.
You're a very similar host to me because you sit in the chair and you're meant to be asking questions, but you tell stories about yourself. So I think we're about to say OK, before we're going to have some music in a minute. Are you going to stick around for the music?
I'd love to.
OK, I'm going to stand in front of you, though. You know that, don't you? Before we do that, how many kids have you got, Warwick?
I've got 2 children.
2 children. How old are they?
Annabelle is 13, Harrison's 7.
Wow, well, they must be so excited seeing you in Harry Potter and seeing you in...
They are excited, but...
They are. That's a lovely picture. The little fellow, so that's your son on the left there,
That's
in the
Harrison,
picture there.
yeah.
Wow, I'm loving his hair. That's
It's great. I mean, it's crazy. It's like flames.
Yeah, yeah.
But he does that all himself.
So they must be just so proud of you seeing
Well,
you.
I mean, they come and visit Harry Potter and... Harrison's been born since I've been doing it.
Yeah.
And the Great Hall there is a bit like Dad's office. It doesn't get him excited anymore, really.
Yeah, because they've seen it all, yeah.
Yeah, but Annabelle, she's 13, and unfortunately, I never worked on a Sunday on a Potter movie. On her last birthday in March, I had to work on a Sunday. But what was wonderful about it, the whole Great Hall, including Alan Rickman and Maggie Smith, sang happy birthday to her.
Wow, how lovely.
But instead of relishing it, of course, being 13, totally embarrassed, couldn't deal with it. Oh, my God. You know, she couldn't cope. She couldn't
Wow,
cope.
you wait till she's 16, she'll say, I want that, plus I want a pony. How great to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll agree, what a fabulous guest. How nice to spend some time and actually hear you talk about yourself for once, as opposed to just see you in character.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Warwick Davis,
Thank you
ladies
very
and
much.
gentlemen. It's great, that was great.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you to all of my guests tonight. Warwick Davis, of course, Alexandra Burke and the fabulous Nick Frost.